in nature, you start to see the bigger picture again. You start to realize how small you actually are. When a lion looks you straight in the eye, your heart stops for a second and you start to realize that your problems are not that big after all. You're part of the bigger picture. You can, just relax in a way, because there are more important things out there. I think that's why people come to the bush. Hey everyone, my name is Karolina, but everybody calls me Lina here. I'm German by nationality, but I work as a safari guide in South Africa, specifically in Limpopo, in a game reserve called Welgevonden. The idea of working in Africa came already to me when I was very, very little. Like, I imagined myself being in a wild jungle in Africa, removing snares, educating people about conservation. That was always my dream. But I haven't had any connections to Africa. So I just had to find a way how I can get started, how can I start living here, how can I find work. So I did learn about the safari guide training just by doing a lot of research, and I signed up and here I am now, easy as that. Usually people come from the city to just unwind from the speed of the city, to slow down a little bit again. I think that's why people come to the bush. So my day usually starts around 4. I get up, I get onto my vehicle. At the moment it's winter here in South Africa, so I prepare a lot of hot water bottles, blankets, tea and coffee in the morning. Then I wait for the guests and I enjoy a little bit the quiet. But then they come down, we have a cup of coffee and then we go out for the morning game drive, which is usually a 2-hour drive. Then you have some tea and coffee in the bush and then you come back. And then it depends what my schedule looks like after. Usually I do kids activities. My lodge also is a very family-friendly lodge, so I do kids activities with them, showing them the bush, showing tracks and signs, looking for scorpions, all of that nice stuff. Afterwards, we usually have Boma. Boma is a kind of a get-together. You have a big bonfire, everybody's sitting around it, you have a very nice menu, we sing. I usually stay with the guests till midnight and I'm staying with them just to ensure that they're safe. Besides the tourism industry, the conservation had to take quite a big hit as well, because the government cut down the funding, mainly due to COVID. In Kruger there's a lot of poaching of ivory, of the rhino horn and pangolin. And this is still something that at the moment there's not really money for Kruger left, but the poaching is still happening, the trading is still happening, everything is still the same, just now with no governmental funding whatsoever. A situation that happened to me already a couple of times is that I have guests on the vehicle, we start talking about how much they love the bush, how much they love elephants and animals and what their passion is. And then they start telling me that they've been to several rehabilitation centers, to sanctuaries, that they go to elephant and lion parks and that they love petting the animals there. And that's where I start realizing that people are actually not aware of how those parks treat the animals. So I would always be a bit skeptical about the sanctuaries. I know that there are rehabilitation centers that are legit and that are doing a really good work and are very important for conservation. But I also think you should always look of how do they make their money. As soon as it starts with breeding. Do they start breeding the animals? Why would they breed animals if they would save them out of the wilderness? Or if you are allowed to pet cubs? Everything that seems not natural to you, that you would not see in the natural behavior of the animal, should make you think. Would an elephant paint on a canvas with a brush in close proximity to human in its natural habitat? No? Then you should maybe not pay money for it to do so. Take a good look and listen to your heart. If you now think how you can support conservation in South Africa, the answer is actually quite simple, and it is visit South Africa. Visit Africa. When you come here, you pay money to the organizations you choose, that you then made sure that they are ethical. And then you give money to them, you support them so they can sustain all of that. For example, Kruger was only able to grow in the way it did because of the tourists, because it got famous all over the world. People say, Kruger is amazing, I want to go there, I want to see the animals in its natural habitat, which is one of the reasons it got all of this funding, all of this attention, and now they are able to sustain this huge area. With you visiting, you help conservation.